lighter color in the summer.
So it's summer and, what did you call it?
Summer and winter.
Summer and winter, okay.
Okay, and you have to have at least 4 harnesses.
Okay, you've got lots of harnesses
I've got
here.
8 on this one, I can put another 4 on it if need be.
Okay.
Okay, so the reverse is the opposite color. And you have to have at least 4 harnesses to do it. And what you need the 4 harnesses for is, harness 1 is a tie down. See the little tie downs in between here? And harness 2. Those are the tie downs. And then for each
What does
block,
a tie down mean?
it means it keeps this shot here from being too long in between yarns that will hold it in place. So tie down, it's a yarn that will hold it in place. It's that one right there.
Okay.
Okay, so harness 1 and 2 are used for those, and they alternate. So this might be harness 1 and that might be harness 2. And 1 and
Okay.
2 and so on. And you have a pattern yarn. You have a fine tie-down yarn in between here.
Now, is the tie-down yarn the same as the shed? I mean, isn't that
The shed is the...
I mean, not the shed, I mean the warp?
No, it isn't in this case. This is a tie-down yarn. I'll show you my yarn. This is the warp yarn.
Okay.
This is a tie-down yarn.
Oh, I see.
And this is my pattern yarn.
Okay.
Okay. This is supposed to be about twice the size of the warp. And the tie-down yarn is supposed to be about half the size.
I see, okay. Oh, so the last one was, oh, I see. So the tie-down yarn is this little one that's going across.
Yes.
Okay. So you do that in between each row?
In between each pattern shot. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm weaving according to an 8-shot repeat here.
So can you explain that to me now?
Okay. Well, let's go back to this one. That's the one with the different blocks here. Okay, I have the 2 tie-down yarns are here. And so those harnesses are up. Okay. And all these others are down. Okay, that's all of these. And that's a tie-down shot with this yarn.
Wait a minute. So this one circle is the one with that's the yarn. The circle means the yarn?
This is the warp yarns that are being lifted. I've got the warp yarns on harness 1 and harness 2 are being lifted up.
Okay, now which circles? Is it circles or lines?
These are circles on this. This is threading for jack loom.
Okay, so here we've got these 2 circles side by side. So this is harness 1 is down at the bottom?
Not side by side, they're one above the other.
Okay, so this is harness 1 and this is harness 2?
Yes.
Okay, so
and
we're
I've
going
got
from
8
here.
harnesses here, so the circles go up to 8.
So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
Okay. And these 2 are lifted against everything else.
Everything else is down. Okay.
Yes. Then I go to my, I'm starting to weave my pattern. I've got my tie-down yarn here for this pattern, which means I have to lift harness 1.
I see.
This time. And then if you go down and look in here in the repeat, there's harness 1 and pattern thread on
that's harness 1, right?
this is tie down 1, and then pattern yarn on X is down, and 3 is, sorry, shouldn't say down, they're lifted up.
So 3, which is, so let's see now, if we're going back to here, this is 1, 2, so 3. So you've got number 1 is down, and why doesn't 3 have a thing there?
3 does.
Over there.
3.
Okay.
Okay. And then
Now
this
does
shed
this,
here,
which is, when you've got the whole shed, the shed open right now, which, is it one of these columns is for one open shed?
yeah, this has a tie down, and then it has for the tabby. I should be calling this tabby.
What's a tabby?
It's like plain weave.
Plain weave,
background.
okay.
Okay, like I have a plain weave background in between my samples here.
Okay.
Okay, and then I have a tie down X and a tie down Y. And X is on 1, and Y is on 2, which is this one. And then I have harness 3 down, and I want to make
And then we just took those, and then we cut the other end, and we just took those pieces and threaded those pieces.
I want to make what do you call these, skips in here.
Okay.
Okay, so I have to make sure that there is space underneath them,
I see.
and I lift these up to make sure there's that space.
So those are on a different harness.
Yes, these are all different harnesses.
So you have all these harnesses threaded.
I have all these harnesses threaded, up to 7. I don't have any huddles
Okay.
on 8 that are threaded.
So one of those harnesses are going to pull up, so if you just weave that, you're going to end up with this.
Not just on one harness. I need this plus whatever here I want the floats to go over.
Okay, so the floats are these various color, your pattern.
Yes, the pattern appears there in those spaces that it creates.
So this is all according to how you're going to set up your. Now this part here is setting up the warp.
This is just treadling. No.
And this is down here is the whole thing is treadling.
This whole thing is treadling.
Okay.
Well, this is tie up, I guess you'd call it. Right
Okay,
here.
so this
and
is.
this is treadling.
Okay, that's what I meant. Okay. So now, if I was going to treadle, throwing it through one time, would I look at one row?
Yes.
And then I would do the second row, I would throw the yarn again, I would throw it again. I see, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I may have it then. I may understand that.
Anyway, those can all change depending on what you decide the pattern is.
That's right, because you've got all these different patterns. There's millions of patterns.
There are 16 variations on that one pattern.
Oh my.
Like, I'm not changing the threading. This talks about the threading here. She had us come up with our own threading, which produced a pattern like I showed you on this first one here. And this is a block weave, so each block has its own threading pattern. This block, E block, has the threading of 1 and 7 and 2 and 7. This one is 1 and 6 and 2 and 6. And this one is 1 and 5 and 2 and 5. And this one is 1 and 4 and 2 and 4. And that's 1 and 3 and 2 and 3.
I see, okay.
On a 4-harness loom, you could only do 2 of these. You couldn't do the rest of these.
Okay.
Now, it might not be these 2, it might be some
Right.
other 2.
I see, okay.
So you sorted out.
Eh?
You sorted out.
We're not sure. There's supposed to be a difference between that, and so far I'm not seeing much of a
So
difference.
is this the problem here, or is it supposed to be?
No, well, these are tension problems,
but
and
no.
I think I've put 2 tie downs in some of those places.
It's neat though.
But
Are you entering a competition,
what competition?
or are you learning?
No, I'm learning. No, this is a summer and winter workshop I took in
Neat.
Kingston this weekend.
Very clever. I like that. It's very smart. Yeah.
But it does have some errors in there, at least beating errors if nothing else. But it took me all day to do that.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad someone else is
And
slow
come
at
up with
things.
the design for things too. We had to come up with our own design.
Oh, okay.
So it took me all morning to do the design and thread it, and all afternoon to actually do the sample.
You didn't get much when we all gathered.
I have a book that explains all this stuff, but it had lots of these patterns in it, but I couldn't understand it. And I'm not too dumb, I think I should figure.
But I found it very difficult being in there in the workshop. It's quite complicated until you're, just reading the treadling is complicated. But I'm finding it easier as I go along, and I hope by the end of the 16 samples it'll be easier yet. But these are the directions for all the samples. And the treadling for some of them. And then
This is like reading reading a language, you know. You get so you can
It
just
is.
read it, right?
yes, and I'm not at that stage really.
No, it
Though I've
just
been
looks
weaving
like
for
dots
several
and
years.
squares to me.
Yeah.
How long have you been weaving?
Susie, our instructor here, was, you know, she'll look at that and she'll say, oh no, that's right.
So what is doing all this called? This is a pattern?
This is the treadling for different samples of summer and winter.
Okay.
There are 16 different samples. This is the directions for, there's 17 samples. Those are the directions for...
And when you refer to treadling, you mean it's pattern? When you talk about a book with patterns in it, that's the treadling?